Hello and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech for yet more of your daily gaming news with myself, Amata. Today is the 24th of July and I have some interesting news from Nintendo, as it has been confirmed that they will not be accepting Wii U game pitches from indie developers based in Japan, and they confirmed this to CVG. And this is despite their attempts to strike new partnerships with self-employed developers in the West. They have said that their licensing team does not want to partner with indies residing within Japan. The reason for this hasn't really been clarified and has become the subject of a little bit of discussion, specifically because the corporation has made inroads into the American and EU independent development sectors, and a Wii U developer application form, which was published online by Nintendo earlier this year, was part of their plan to basically forge a relationship with indie developers, but the company does note on the form that we are currently not accepting applications from developers located in Japan at this time. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they never will. It's, from the wording, it sounds like they have a separate plan for the indie developers based in their home country, but they have had this to say. The policy in question is the decision of Nintendo's department responsible for licensing activities in each region, and the licensing department of Nintendo is currently not accepting the subject applications from individuals in Japan. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Obviously, normally they traditionally work exclusively with established publishing entities, but it has obviously observed the growing indie gaming scene and how indie games are actually turning out to be quite popular with a lot of people. Of course, you've got the smash hits, and then you've got the lesser known games that don't do quite as well, they don't set the world on fire, but they're doing well enough for people like Nintendo to sit up and notice. But now developers can actually claim a free Unity engine license and self-publish their projects, and this is according to a recent tweet from Brian Provinciano, who is the creator of Retro City Rampage, and he said, "Fun fact, every developer on Wii U gets a free Unity license and can self-publish, thus keeping all revenue and no pitching, no negotiation." So why do you think they've blocked their indies in Japan? Well, it's really tough to say. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just because they're trying to find the right legalese or what have you, and perhaps there's a different form of contract that's needed because of Japanese law. It's really tough to say as to why they haven't been doing this. I'm sure that eventually they will be allowing indie developers residing in Japan, be they Japanese or a Westerner or what have you, just living in that country, before too long, because, well, shutting off their home country like that permanently would not exactly be the smartest of ideas. So it's really tough to say as to why they might not be allowing it at the moment, but it could just be tailoring their approach to the right sort of contracts, getting a deal going. It's really tough to say. It's probably a legal issue, is my prediction, but I could be completely and utterly wrong. It's really great that they are allowing now indie developers to actually throw in an application from, say, hey, look, I've made this game, I want to put it on the Wii U. Because that's one way to get people to actually think, hey, all these massive, first-party titles are great and all, but what about those indie games? As I said, indie is a growing scene and has been growing for quite some time, and thanks in large part to things like the Steam sale, they've been more and more prevalent over the coming years, especially with hits such as, of course, Minecraft, Amnesia. I could go on, Slender, of course. There's several games that have really just taken gaming world by storm that were just completely no-name, nothing games at the time of their release, and obviously this had to make Nintendo and other gaming companies sit up and take note and say, hey, look, there's this huge thing going on right now and we need to pay attention to it. So I really hope that they sort something out soon for the Japanese indie developers. I'm sure they've got something planned so that indies in their homeland can actually submit games to them. I highly doubt that they're going to be doing this. It's not exactly good PR to say that, hey, look, you can't if you're in Japan. It doesn't exactly bode well, especially considering the Japanese market, but I'm sure they've got their reasons they wouldn't do this frivolously, so hopefully they'll get it resolved soon, because it's not exactly good for Nintendo to just be like, oh, they're doing it for the Westerners, but they're not doing it for the Japanese. It's not really going to look good to their fellow countrymen, basically, but hopefully we'll get something resolved soon, but still it's good news that they're opening their doors a little bit more to indie developers. It's something I feel that is very, very important for the next upcoming generation. And of course PS4 is completely open to indies, and Xbox One is a little bit vague and unclear at the moment. Microsoft has said that they will be revealing their publishing policies very soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do have some form of indie development door for them to go through, even be it application form or some form of Xbox Live Arcade like we've seen before, or what have you. So yeah, be curious to see what happens regarding this, and if any indie games actually help shift some copies of the Wii U, because, well, if a user's really into these cool indie games that not many people have played but I've got some really interesting ideas, well, it might sway them to think, hey, this is really good indie library on the Wii U, I'm going to pick it up because, well, why not? So I definitely think it's the right decision, and I hope that basically the Japanese developers get their foot in the door very, very soon. Anyway, that is me done for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.